Hi again to the YouTube empath community. This is Kat, the empath manager or the empathic manager. Welcome again to my channel. And today I'm going to be continuing on the empath series for the coronavirus. Officially, it is called Empaths and the Coronavirus Pandemic Top 3 Tips for Self-Care. Now, you may be wondering, why am I talking about self-care today? Shouldn't I be talking about care of other people? Well, just like when you're on an airplane and the stewardess reminds you to put your mask first before helping others, it is imperative that you first take care of yourself before you can be of aid to anyone else. That being said, I'm going to be sharing with you today the top 3 tips that I have for self-care. It's a really crazy time right now, and I'm hoping that you glean certain lessons out of these. Tip number 1, let's go right into it, is to ground yourself. Now, I'm hoping that as an empath that you already know the best ways that you have to ground yourself. So why do you even need to do that in the first place? As an empath, you need to ground yourself because you take and digest others' energy, both good and bad energy. And before you begin your day, you really should take the time to center yourself, remember what you stand for, and you can do that by grounding. I'm hoping that you've found different ways to ground yourself, whether that be with physically walking on the ground, or journaling, or meditating, or doing yoga, praying. I just hope that you have the facets of grounding down before you begin your day. Now, little tip and trick for you. If you have a business or you have a job and now you cannot go into your place of work because you're working from home, just remember to stick to your routine even though you do not need to go to work in your physical work location. I realize that I have a hard time sticking to my grounding routine when I work from home. I go directly into work mode, and then around lunchtime I realize there's something missing, and that's because I didn't ground myself. So tip number 1 was grounding. Let's go to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is going to be personal, and I'm going to share what I do myself, and please do your own. This tip is to actually make a list for what you know you need to take care of yourself. So how does this work? I would say spend 1 to 3 minutes and just write down the mechanisms that you have currently to care for yourself. And some of those items will need to be altered given the situation and not being able to go outside and outdoors as much as we do normally. So I'll share my little list of 3 of self-care tips and how I've needed to amend it given the new environment. My first my number 1 item on my list for self-care is watching movies, which I can't do. So I've had to alter it for watching TV or Netflix for about an hour a day. My number 2 item for self-care was to treat myself. Normally that would be going to Starbucks during my lunch break and actually reading my Kindle. Obviously, this is not the time to go to Starbucks either, so I still am going to segregate some time during the day to be able to have some quiet time for me to read, probably with a home-brewed cup of tea. My number 3 item on my list for self-care was to express my inner artist. I know that all empaths are quite artistic, whether that be in the fine arts or performing arts. No matter what it is, you need to let that creative energy out because that is part of who you are as an empath. Personally, I love to sing and dance, so karaoke machine, here I come. I hope that you are able to express yourself. If you're a painter, go paint away. If you are a dancer, go and do some choreography, have some videos up and go dance along. Find what makes you happy and do it within the confines or within the awesomeness of your own home. Tip number 2 then was to make a list of what you need for self-care and then fulfill that list within reason and being mindful of the new environment we're in. Tip number 3 is making a list of how you can help others. Whoa, I thought we were talking about self-care. Why are you talking about others? As mentioned at the beginning of this video, once you help yourself, you can help others. And part of caring for yourself is ultimately to go outside of yourself and to help others. So create your own list of how you can help. Now, whether that's volunteering, donating to charity, calling and reaching out to neighbors, friends, family that you know are vulnerable right now, do make a tiny list for yourself of how you can help others. And ultimately, since we're all connected, that helps you as well. I hope that these tips help. I'm very new to the YouTube. Please leave me a comment below. Please leave me a like. Suggestions are great. I've been hearing this for a very long time, but if this has been helpful to you, kindly do the like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day and peace to everyone.